Hello!
For this week's vlog, we thought we would have a heart-to-heart or like a little chat with you, with Thorsten. I hope you can hear me because we're driving currently, and we wanted to talk a little bit about business, networking, and entrepreneurship because he is my idol when it comes to so many entrepreneurial ways of thinking in life. Yes. And I wanted you to get a little bit of his brains. So you are
we make the incision here and here.
Not so much my joke resource though.
I'm a very, very serious person inside.
So right now, where are we going, baby?
We're going to the IMN Zurich chapter meeting, a networking event that we joined in March.
I think, yeah.
It's happening once a month, at least the regular meetings in Zurich. And each meeting consists of a mastermind session that this week we unfortunately missed because I had to work later than usually, or I had to work.
Siri is always like, are you talking about me?
And after a short break, there is a presentation of some entrepreneur or businessman that shares his knowledge and wisdom with woman, genderless business person. So every non-genderless word I'll use in the course of this
Did you know
interview.
Today is I think either National or International Women's Rights Day?
Yeah, and that is as sexist as
That's what I tweeted today.
Because there is no International Men's Right Day.
No, that's not what I... No. What I wrote on Twitter today is one of those days that where we shouldn't even be talking about this, like we shouldn't even have a day where we're saying, oh, we give rights to women. Like, what? I don't want to sound feminist or anything here, but this is ridiculous, isn't it?
Of course it is, because there is no similar day for men.
Yes, that's true.
Which is by definition sexism.
Yeah, that's true, but that is how history worked. We as women obviously needed a change when it comes to rights and stuff, and that's why there is a day like that. It's not like a National Women's Day, and that is really sexist in my opinion. This is about politics, this is about women's rights, or this is something else. But still, we shouldn't need that at all. Anyway, going back to the topic, we have a business person presentation.
Oh yeah, these business people tell us about what they do in their business, about their challenges, about their achievements, and there is always a lot of opportunity to learn
from other people
in these meetings. And the very nice part is that the members of the IMN Zurich get the chance to have a chat with those people after their presentation.
Yeah.
So you can really, if it's a topic that you're interested in, you can really dig down or dig deep and get all the information you can in such a short period of time, which is very efficient actually. If you have an idea about the topic and you have some particular questions, the chance is high that you get a satisfying answer in a short time.
Okay, so we like these events because we get a presentation from someone new in a different area in business every month, and it's very nice to, of course, ask questions and have the chat going in the after networking, event. Today we also have a salsa class that we're gonna give. This is gonna be our third class in IMN Zurich. They asked us today to give a members-only salsa lesson, and we're very happy to do that. When we get a chance to teach together, we're very, very happy in general.
Yes.
But this is not why we signed up for IMN or any networking event, actually, because I'm also part of another community called Internations. And the reason why we think that networking events, or let's call it networking groups like this, are very useful because they kind of keep you accountable, not by making you do anything, but that in a month there will be another event, and at that event you will talk to the people of that group, that club, and you're gonna tell them what you did in the past month for your business. And just that, having the accountability of someone else to someone else, you have to, yeah, I think too, is a very helpful tool. So if you're someone who wants to create their own business and you are struggling with getting stuff done, I think we could recommend joining a club. An accountability club could be something you can also assign a friend or a colleague or whoever you think could make you feel accountable for your actions. I think that's a very beneficial tip that we can give you already.
Yeah, there is different approaches there, and one approach could be there is many free meetups. There is this platform meetup.com. I'm not sure where it is available, but I think in Central Europe it is everywhere.
Yeah.
So there is plenty of meetups that you can find around the area where you live and meet like-minded people.
Yeah.
And then it's up to you. If you like a greater or a bigger group, then you can just stick with those.
Yeah.
But if you are trying to improve in a particular topic, you can also go for some mastermind group. Mastermind doesn't necessarily mean that everybody is a specialist already, but it's a group that holds themselves accountable. Usually they meet either once a week or every second week, every month, whatever time schedule you can fit. And you basically just talk about what's happening and you get input from the other people, which is incredibly valuable if it's people working in a similar industry, because they can have new input that you don't have yet or that you're not aware. But also it can be useful if you talk with people that are not in your industry, because sometimes a bird's eye perspective can be beneficial as well, because sometimes you're so deep in the trenches of your own work that you don't see something, the bigger picture or some out of the box solution for an issue that you have that somebody else
essential.
Even
if you're having problems or not yet having problems. But let me tell you this, if you're building your own brand, if you're starting your own business, you will have problems, and that's the beauty of it. Yes. But even if you're not yet there to face problems in your business, I think still human talks, human connection, some insights of other people's brains are so much more useful than reading something, I think, because it directly aligns with experience, and experience is what matters, I want to say, more than solid knowledge.
And there is two very nice catchphrases that describe that. And for I am in Zurich, it is your network is your net worth.
I love that.
Which is pretty cool, and it describes that sometimes you don't need to know the answer yourself, but you need to have somebody who can either answer the question for you or again know somebody else who could.
That's a good point.
That's
really.
One. And if you don't like it to be so capitalist and money oriented, it's you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
That is
which
also
is very, very wise. First one basically says just know many people and that will help you, which can be true.
But the other one is being selective.
The other one is be selective, and if you want to improve and if you want to push your business forward, maybe it's time to reconsider if people that are not having any kind of drive in their life are the right people to spend your time with. Or spend most of your time with.
I completely agree on the being selective. I think I mentioned this on my being a more positive and happy person video. I was telling there that you should kind of cut off the people from your life that are basically pulling you down. Like, I am not a good example. I generally don't like to take people out of my life, but what I do is I decrease the amount of time and effort that I put into them. But this applies not just for your business, for your personal life as well. You are the average of 5 people that you see or spend time the most. And if you're spending time in your personal time, in your free time, with 5 friends that are very negative, very unproductive, very, oh yes, let's Netflix and like
It
binge
will
on
pull
it.
you down.
It will. You won't produce as much as you would on your own, and you wouldn't produce as much on your own compared to when you are with 5 very productive, very motivated, very success-driven people. So picking people around you, like keeping those that are helping you the most to grow as a person or as a business, I think is very crucial. And the only way to do it is to see as many people as possible, get to know as many people as possible. This is also helping to read people when you meet them. And the more selection you have, the easier you can see and select your top 5, let's call it. So yeah, that's a little bit of what we think about networking and business. But also I want to ask Thorsten, because I think he is very good at absorbing and consuming online information. You want to talk about what you like to do to educate yourself better and learn about a topic that you have no idea about. Let's call it Google Analytics, or let's call it copywriting. You can...
Yeah, so basically it all started when I had to commute these long distances, and I tried to find a way how to use the time and not to just sit in the car and be bored all the time. Then I had this idea to try an audiobook, and I didn't even think about learning something in particular, because I remember the first idea I showed to Gamze was book 1 of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, totally. But we love Game of Thrones.
which is great. However, I ended up not getting it, and I got a business book instead, which basically changed our life, because that was when the coin dropped for me.
Don't say the name.
That this entrepreneurship topic is something that we should pursue.
There will be a new video on my channel this month about our favorite books of 2017, and that's why I
will be a 3-hour video.
Well, it could be easy.
So that was one thing, and since a lot of the stuff that I'm learning recently has to do with online marketing and basically doing all the backend stuff for Gamze's channels and for GET Estilo and for our Me Too Dance project, it is all very visual, so a lot of stuff you need to see in order to understand it properly.
Yeah.
So I tried to find opportunities or possibilities to learn stuff on the computer, and there are plenty of them. One that you're obviously aware of is YouTube.
Yeah.
So what I basically do is
you hear this, man?
I take online courses on, for example, Udemy, but there is Udacity and there is some Google library as well. What was the name again?
See, he knows. What was the name of it?
I'm not sure.
I'll find the links and leave them in the description box. I will ask him to go on his computer and find those links for me, and I'll link all these online learning tools that you could potentially use for your business.
Because the thing is, there is so freaking much information out there, I mean, we just spent like $200 on buying discounted Udemy courses, which will probably keep me busy for a year.
Yeah.
Easily.
That money is self-investment, and I think it's the best spend of the year.
And that is something that I've heard in many books, and everybody who is successful confirms it, except Gary Vaynerchuk.
Really? He says don't learn anymore?
No, he doesn't say don't learn. He is just not for books.
Books? He wrote like 5 books.
Yeah, and he said it's pretty much as many as he read.
That guy is very funny.
He was a D to F student, so really bad.
Okay.
But he learned the business in the trenches, and he learns, and he's very attentive. So he learns from his social interactions, which he has like more than probably anyone else in the world.
Networking again.
Exactly. So when he was in his wine business, that's where he started, he learned basically everything on the fly, on the job.
Okay.
So he still is a great
mastermind.
No, a great somebody who greatly puts value to learning, but not to the kind of learning that I describe.
Okay.
But he also says he is jealous of people that learn this way, because it is a potentially faster way to learn things.
Experiencing stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. So
and it's almost free to learn, like maybe $10. Oh, the light is again on.
Yeah, the $10 offers are out there. There is free courses on Udemy too.
Yeah.
And usually the courses range between $50 and $200. but pretty much every month there is some special offer where they discount them greatly, or some theme-related discount. There is a lot.
You should Insta story them as you stumble upon good business-related topics.
Yeah, I could do that.
I will leave his socials down also in the description box, because
That's
I think
a good idea. Yeah.
he is the next, next person you want to.
Next Dr. Xavier.
I'm saying person on purpose.
Yes.
To follow if you want to, get a route, get an idea about where to start when it comes to entrepreneurship, because he went through this road with me. Actually, he guided me, and we went through this road for the last 1.5 years, kind of.
Yes.
2 years maybe.
Yes.
Even. And the easier, the better, the faster, and the easier is only by listening to the people who went through it. So
last but not least, another possibility, if you're, for example, not having a good internet connection, or if you can't do something with sound, or if you're not having headphones for the commute, is to just Google the topic you're interested in. There is plenty of sources out there that write blog posts, infographics
are
everything is out there. Those people are the super pros also in terms of making the content attractive, because content marketing is how they create their following, which is basically the written version of what Gamze does. So it is not as easy to consume. You cannot just run it and do something else while doing it, but usually you have to put more focus on it.
Which means better learning.
It can be learned better. So in the end, it depends on your circumstances and the fact if you're a visual learner, if you need to read it, if you're an audio-visual learner, if you need to hear it and see something, or if just hearing it is enough for you.
I love you so much, because that's exactly what I was talking about in my notebook ideas video. So before we go and end this kind of vlog, kind of talk, kind of advice, I guess, about businesses a little bit, I want to ask you for your top 5 people to follow on social media, or like read their books, watch their videos, the masterminds that you like to follow.
Short note here, Gamze doesn't count, so Gamze and 5 others.
I love you.
I follow, obviously, Cardone.
Obviously, for sales. Cardone is...
For online marketing, I used to follow the podcasts and all the social channels of Neil Patel.
Yeah.
Someone who is really interesting if you're not too much into the entrepreneurship only, but more life advice, is Tim Ferriss. He wrote many amazing books about entrepreneurship, but his podcasts are more about challenging yourself. So the 4-hour work week and the 4-hour body and the tools of titans. This week he had an interview with Terry Crews about how to keep evolving your life, basically.
Nice.
2 more. Who else do I follow? Gary Vaynerchuk, obviously. The author of The One Thing, which is a very, very great book that I can recommend to everybody who is struggling with time management, is Gary Keller.
I'll leave this list down in the description as well if you're interested in the minds that we like to listen. Let's say bye-bye.
Let's say bye-bye, because we'll be there in 1 minute anyways.
We are almost there, and we are also set our minds right, prepared it for this networking event, and we need to thank you for this, guys. So thank you, Thorsten, for sharing your experience with us. And
anytime, I'm glad to help.
If you want to hear more from him, if you want to see him more in my videos, give this video good big thumbs up so I can show the number to him, and I will say, people want you. You have to be in my videos because people want to see you, okay? We have a deal? We have a deal. Good. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye.